Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Eddie Marcus here again. Today, I want to talk to you about a subject matter that we've all been hearing about. It's called the big lie. And I don't want to call this message today, the big lie, but I'm thinking about what we might say, why the lie won't die. Why the lie won't die. And if it won't die, we can refer to it as the living lie. The living lie. You see, when we think about the lie, we have to think about the power of the lie. The power of the lie. As I see it, Republicans and Democrats work both for the same power. The Republicans and the Democrats work both for the same power. And if you want to know what that power is, look at the outcome. And it will tell you what the power is. It's definitely not the best that things can be, perhaps not the worst that things can be, but for some, it's the worst that it can be. And for others, it's almost the best that it can be. And that is a picture, my friends, of the response to the lie, which is evil. This, excuse me, this division between the Republicans and the Democrats, it must stop. This division, Republicans and Democrats, is being used by the powers that be, and I'm not talking about divine, heavenly, spiritual powers. This, my friends, Republicans and Democrats, is being used by the human powers right here on earth, to exploit you, to keep you in bondage, to keep you a slave by lying to you, not giving you any truth, not even saying that they know truth, but evidence of being here is that we have already been judged. That's why we are here. Now, I want to ask you this. The lie, it was, so according to some scriptures, a lie that stained heaven. That is to let you know that as high as you've been taught that you can go, that even evil runs around rampant, to and fro, trying to see who it can destroy. That lie also destroyed the peace that was in the Garden of Eden, according to those same scriptural words. That lie also is destroying the USA. The United States of America is being destroyed by a lie. Lying and dying due to the ignorance of greed. You see, if you haven't noticed it, everything, well, let's not go all the way over there because you can't even go between your little county. So let's just say everything in America is predicated based upon greed. The greed flourishes and you're successful. Everybody needs something. Everybody needs a certain amount to stay alive sufficiently. And that was guaranteed to you by preparation before you came here, and then you coming here and giving you the ability as a people, as an individual, as a people to take care of it. So that's already been prepared. And if that is not happening, it's because you are being deceived, you are being exploited, you are being lied to. And it is that greed that is causing all the pain and all the suffering. That greed, for we who are here in America knows that there has been a certain group of people all since we got a history of this existence. Their number one concern has been lying and cheating and stealing and killing and doing whatever it takes to feed their greed. And killing was one of the easiest things to do because they had no concept about compassion, about empathy, about love for others. It was always about themselves. It is today, my friends, a lie that Senators Manchin and Senator Cinnamon, these two senators, it is a lie that they are any different than Donald Trump and those Trumpers. Let me say that. The Democratic senator, Manchin, the Democratic senator, Sinema, it is a lie to even think that they are any different than Donald Trump and his minions, those hate groups. You think they are more than that? Ask the people who are suffering because of the stance that they are taking in regards to Build Back Better. I would suggest, since some of the Republicans decided to make January 6th this committee on this insurrection, to make it bipartisan, a couple of the Republicans who can't stand Trump and the lies that the Republican Party are about came over and joined with the Democrats. So the Republicans won't say it was partisan. So I propose also that a few of you Republicans come over and join the Democrats in the Build Back Better. Be as equal to stand up for your people. Don't you know that it is more white people poor and would receive benefits of the Build Back Better than blacks or people of color? Don't you know that? So show some compassion for them by joining with this Build Back Better. So you get bipartisan, Build Back Better, and you can go out and claim that you did this for your constituency. Go on out there and do it, because right now, Manchin and Sinema, they are the same as Donald Trump. Now, it comes to the victims of the American way that can keep you on the right track. Not those who prepare the American way, because they're going to always say it's like this and it's all right. You know, but that's not sufficient enough for people who are concerned. It is not sufficient enough for people who are greedy. You know, let me say something on the religious front while I'm talking. On the religious front, as far as I can see, everyone is ignorant. You have put your trust in humans' biggest liars. You see, they have told you that the book is divine. They tell you that God spoke to others, but will not speak to you. This is a lie. If God ever spoke, then God is still speaking. So they trick you as if you, I'm serious, my friend. They trick you if you will live as if you will live forever in heaven or hell. Now, here's a group of people talking about what somebody else said, but you can't hear it. It reminds me of the times when blacks were slaves and the white people would make sure they didn't understand the language, made sure they couldn't read, made sure it was as difficult as it could possibly be so they wouldn't know what's going on. So now you got the Bible. Supposedly men have been talking about a power we can't see. And now there's some people in our time want to continue talking about it, but want you to believe that God is not talking to you. God is talking to them. And every time you hear them speaking, what are they saying? My Bible says, which means God has not told them a thing. They believe in what somebody has printed. They are believing exactly what they have been told and taught. For instance, in the Word says that the Son of God looked like me. Skin, hair, looked just like me. But they made sure we did not know how to read when they were sharing this information with us. So rather than put a picture of me there, they put a picture of our oppressor there. So you can be being oppressed and believing that it is God's will that this is happening to you, for the Son of God that they have put in that book says it's okay. Now, they tricked you. They also tricked you when they say you will live forever in heaven or hell. I want you to know, and you will concur without a doubt, that every human will die. Never, I say never, you didn't say this, never to live again. Humans may keep coming, but they will keep dying. Your parent, I'm going to tell you something that's going to really make you mad now. Your children, your pastor, your wife, your husband, they are not in heaven with God. They do not exist anywhere. And I want to tell you this, those of you who are still living and getting up into age, if you live to get old, you will suffer like you never suffered before. So if you can't get well, euthanasia is your answer. But this euthanasia is not permitted in most countries. Now, for those of you who might be a little weary about what I'm saying, euthanasia, when I'm speaking of euthanasia, I am saying that you have been judged by the medical profession that you're dying and there's nothing that they can do about it. And you know it because you're hurting so bad, you're just wishing and praying that God would help you out. Now, you could be standing there praying that God will help you out, hollering and screaming for somebody to come do something for you, and your little dog could be laying on the bed on the side of you, just whimpering, going through the dying too. They'll pick that dog up, take him to the vet, put him to sleep, and you can suffer for another year and a half. Why do they allow you to suffer? Because they want to use you. If they can make money out of you, they're going to make all the money they possibly can. And if you are so sick that there's no cure for it, the reason that they do not want to allow euthanasia is because once you realize that you got a door open, so when the pain and stuff gets so great, you don't have to go through no changes. You don't have to worry about God punishing your family because you took your life. You will take gladly, just like that puppy. You will say, please take me out of here. And when they take you out of here and the nation starts seeing that you're not having to go through suffering, that you can just go ahead on and pass on away from here, especially if you believe in it's over for you, you'll never live again. And who would want to live again after living through this hell? But they will not permit that. Why? Because the moment that you realize and you're not afraid anymore that you can die anytime you want to tell somebody to go to hell, you're just that gleefully willing to die to get them out of your face, they got no more control over you. There's no power on the face of the earth that got control over you once you decided that living is your choice. Living is your choice. Once you decide that, you're free. You can stand up and tell the country exactly what's on your mind. You can tell the people exactly what's on your mind. Why? Because what's on your mind, as far as you're concerned, all you're giving them is your pure love. And you know they can do the worst thing to you, and you know they will. And that's why you're standing up right now calling on them dirty people who call themselves children of God, who white people suffer, who sit back and say, children, parents who got kids, that they can help these kids kind of eat and have clothes and grow up and have food and take care of themselves. You got rich people over there saying, no, they're going to buy dope. We can't give them no money. But they can let these billionaires who wants to flow up into space, they can invest their money there so they can go float and come back down and laughing at the rest of us who are living in ghettos where the storms are trying to help us out. They're wiping through these towns showing people that you are just like the poor people. The power that is power can do the same thing to you that you're doing to them. And you need the same things as they will need. And if you don't take care of your responsibilities, then you will be exactly like them. And if you don't want to be exactly like them, then you got to lift them up with you. Well, did I go off track? Nah. Oh, I want to ask you one other thing. I might just leave. When was the last time you read or heard something of a white person, not just a man, but of a white person who gave their lives, willing to give up their life for the freedom and peace and joy of the human race? Not just white people, but for all people. You know, I really can't think of a time. When I think about the three young men in Philadelphia, Mississippi, they were following a movement. They got killed in that movement. I have to give them their prop. But when a man walks out of his door standing up for justice, knowing that he might get killed, other people are hoping. Even the man that walks out the door is hoping. But if you know that chances are you're going to get killed, and you still walk out that door, you know a white man that just does that for anybody? The only one I can recall reading about, maybe I haven't done that much reading, but the only one I can recall reading about as a social scientist is John Brown. He stood up for what was right, white and black. But he appeared to be standing up, what? For black, because they were getting the boot and they needed representation. And he was killed for it. That was, to me, divine. This is what Dr. King represented, divinity. This is what I want to represent to the world, divinity. In other words, I've gotten old, and I never thought I'd get this old, ladies and gentlemen. Well, one while I thought I was going to die early because black people just die early. Back in them days, they were just killing us. Then that didn't happen. I lived this long, and I've been trying my best to make a difference in society, to make such a difference that people could be made so free that the enemy of freedom would kill me. But I'm still getting old. I must not be saying nothing. Or you're probably just not paying attention. I might just sound like a fool to you, so you just ignored me. But I'm telling you, you keep on living and don't make it right, and you are going to get old. And you're going to walk in that mirror, look in that mirror one day, and you're going to scare the hell out of yourself. And you're going to wish that you had at least stood up for euthanasia, so you don't have to be continuously looking at yourself every day. Well, until then, I hope, and my hope is just that, a hope that you wake up. Goodbye.